Welcome back, 7:20 on your Thursday morning. A jury has found former Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson guilty of second-degree murder in the killing of Sonya Massey. So he now faces the possibility of up to 20 years in prison. And joining us now to discuss the jury's verdict and look ahead to Grayson's sentencing, we have attorney Antonio Romanucci, who is representing Massey's family in a civil suit. Antonio, good morning. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Good morning also. Thank you.
All right. So first up, just give us your reaction, if you wouldn't mind, to the guilty verdict here on the second-degree murder charge.
Well, I think we have to understand how difficult it is to prosecute police officers who kill someone while under the color of law, meaning while they were in uniform. This is a very difficult job. So the fact that we can say that he is now a convicted murderer is a big step forward. Now, the family wanted to see a first-degree murder charge because they strongly believe, as we do too, that Sean Grayson had intent to kill Sonya Massey before he actually shot her, because he said he was going to shoot her in the face. So the family's reaction was one of disappointment, but keep in mind that Sean Grayson is now a convicted murderer.
All right, so we understand, and this came up during the trial, that he had sort of a checkered past when it came to his law enforcement career. How did that play into the trial and the verdict here, do you think?
Well, we don't know that it actually played in. The judge left out much of that evidence with regard to his checkered past, but we do know that it came out in the civil case. And in the civil case, we know that his checkered past played a big deal in what happened and what the recovery was for the Massey family. And it also turned into law that Governor Pritzker signed just 2 months ago. So that Senate Bill 1953, which is now law, prohibits police departments from just hiring police officers without doing a very deep dive into their past to ensure that Sean Graysons don't fall through the cracks and are allowed to police when they really shouldn't be at all.
So the case has already had an impact kind of on a universal state level there. Now, with regard to the sentencing, Antonio, correct me if I'm wrong, I see the range could be between 4 and 20 years. Will he actually do that time? Is there a possibility for a shortened sentence or for like a slap on the wrist kind of thing with probation, perhaps?
That's very interesting, because in this situation, what can happen here is that he's probably going to do half the time. Second-degree murder does not require 100%. It only requires 50%. So assuming that he gets, the maximum sentence here, which is 20 years, he could be doing half time. And as you noted correctly, the minimum sentence is 4 years. And there are even circumstances where he could be getting probation. So that's why the family was calling for a new law. There is a gap here between second-degree murder and the type of sentencing that can be administered, and that's what we think that we ought to fix. There ought to be something in the middle, an aggravated murder.
Okay, with regard to the possibility of a couple of circumstances that might lead to just a probation sentence here, what would those be, and do you think that's actually realistic here?
I personally do not think that probation is realistic. When you look at the circumstances and the fact that the jury found that his self-defense was unreasonable or not reasonable, I don't see him. I don't see him getting probation. Obviously, I don't have that crystal ball, but I don't see that under these circumstances, because the murder was found to be unreasonable. I think he's going to be doing some jail time. I think it's going to be significant jail time. I wish it would have been more to the family's wishes. But now that we're here with second-degree murder, let's ensure that we get full accountability with a maximum sentence.
You've been working with this family on the civil side of things. Any other takeaways that you are taking away from this verdict? I know that the family doesn't seem to think, as you mentioned, that justice was served here.
Well, I mean, certainly one of the themes yesterday was that, justice was not served. And, Sonya's dad said that, sometimes it's just us. And what he means by just us is that poor people, marginalized people, black people, brown people are the ones who get least served by the justice system. And that's why they feel it's just us. as opposed to just this. So I think what we need to do is take a look at our justice system and ensure that there is parity here between black, brown, and white. When you look at this jury, was it a jury of Sonya's peers? Absolutely not. Was it a jury of Sean Grayson's peers? I think overwhelmingly so when you look at was, 11 whites and 1 black.
All right, we will be keeping our eyes on any news coming out of that sentencing. Antonio Romanucci, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, Anthony.